What a place to spend the last evening. Sun's going down, beautiful, beautiful silhouette of the mountains there in the distance. Buen dia.
Buen dia.
Good morning from Tuxtla, Mexico. So we spent a few days in Playa del Carmen and we flew to Tuxtla 3 days ago.
Yeah.
And I've been a little bit poorly while I've been here. So we haven't been doing much now. We had a little bit planned, we've had a few things planned, but I've just pretty much been stuck in bed, to be honest, and this one's been looking after me. I'm feeling a little bit better now. So we're gonna head over to a place called San Cristobal de las Casas.
De las Casas, sí.
See, it's about an hour and a half away from here. It looks like a beautiful town. I'm gonna do my best to make a little vlog while I'm there. I'm still feeling really weak and I still need my nurse. But I'm gonna do my best to show you the town, and we've got another couple of little places we want to go to as well, and hopefully we're gonna go and visit a little canyon as well. Have a nice little boat ride up this little canyon. So that's where we're heading now. Just wanted to show you the nice little view that we've got here from our little room. Beautiful balcony, beautiful views of Tuxtla, and as you can see, beautiful mountains up there. So without further ado, let's go and do this. Welcome to San Cristobal de las Casas. So we've just arrived at our accommodation. This is Hotel Parador Margarita. So a nice big room. This was 1,000 pesos per night, including breakfast. Have a little look at the bathroom. Very nice little bathroom here. Lovely little sink. Beautiful little sink. Anyways, we've just checked in. I've just had to lay down for an hour or so. I just feel beat, you know, I feel quite drained. But I picked myself up, give my head a little shake, and now we're going to head on out. We'll go and traipse the streets of San Cristobal de las Casas. Let's go and see what's going on. But first, I'll just walk you through the little hotel. Here's far. We need to lock the door. Fabio's going to lock the door. So this is like the communal little area that we have. Very nice little sun lounges. But as you can see, we've had a little change of attire. The temperature's dropped about 10 degrees since we've come up here. We're up in the mountains now, so we got the woolies on. It's about 15 degrees right now, but it drops to about 5 degrees in the evening. So it was about an hour and a half drive from where we've come from, and it just feels like a different world as far as temperature goes. So feels a little bit strange having woolies on in Mexico, but hey ho. So anyways, let's go and check these streets out. Nice little colourful street down there, all the flags and stuff. Some nice little cafes. The old Bochito. The old Volkswagen Beetle. Mexico wouldn't be the same without the old Bochito. So we just dragged ourselves all the way up these steps. We've got downtown just over there, and the reason being, there's a nice little church at the top here. Do you know the name of this, Bobby?
No.
No, I'm not sure the name of it, but anyways, I don't think we can go inside, but very nice little church. A nice little view of the whole town here.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Cute little doggy. So by the looks of it, this is one of the busier streets compared to what we've just seen. Many places to eat, many traditional people here. Check them out, very colourful. Hola. So yeah, this is a very colourful street. Check this out. So I think Fabiola wants to go and get a coffee, no?
Si.
Cafe. We're going to try and find a little coffee spot. Apparently the coffee is very nice around here, so we're going to choose a little spot, but it's pretty hard to choose, I reckon, because many things going on. Little cafe, people selling clothes. Game of chess. Hola. Yeah man, it's pretty cool here, really cool vibe. Very lot of traditional stuff going on. Check that out. So this is the cathedral in the main square, basically in the plaza. So this is right in the centre of the town. So this is another part of the plaza by the looks of it. It's another big open area, and then you got the front of the cathedral here. What you just saw before was the side of it. But yeah, it must be having work done to it or something, because it's got all of this fencing around it, and you can see it's got some scaffolding there. So but yeah, I can imagine in the evenings, no? I can imagine in the evenings this is quite busy. We'll come and check it out obviously in the evening, but it's pretty quiet at the moment. Someone waving in the background, hola? Hola? So yeah man, but we still need to find this cafe. Got these little bugs down here, check these out. Tasty. So we finally found our cafe. Fabiola picked this little place, Doña Isabel. It's on that street that we were just walking down, looks very nice. I got myself a little donut. Fabiola got a little cake, I don't know what it is, but what is that, Bobby?
Polvoron.
Polvoron. So we're just going to enjoy this now, taking the sights.
De los cielos, ese poder, el Espíritu Santo.
Left, straight, that way, this way, looks like it's this way. So basically we're just having a little walk around, we're choosing in turn which turn to turn. So we're just getting lost basically in San Cristobal. Nice little hairdressers there. So Fabiola's just noticed this big pile of steps and she's keen to go to the top because there's a little church and it could be a nice little viewpoint, right? She's feeling energetic. She's feeling energetic today, unlike me. Nice little colourful Spanish school here, halfway up these steps. It's very vibrant as per usual. Well, Fabiola's given in, she can't be arsed. But I'm going to go to the top now, so I want to see what's beyond yonder, so let's go and do this. So here we go, finally. Iglesia San Cristobalito. basically means, if I'm right, anything that ends in ITO means small, poquito. But there's supposed to be some nice views up here. I'm just going to check out the back of it here. I was hoping there's going to be better views than this. I thought it was just going to be a hill view straight down, but no. Well folks, there was no view at the back as you could just see, but there's the little church, and there's another like little outbuilding type thing here. Loads of candles inside. That's the church. Views of the city, you can't really see properly, but see some of the mountains in the distance there. There's another little town just up on the mountains over there, or should I say San Cristobal just spreads out up onto the hills down there. Nice little walk, definitely blew the cobwebs off. I'm feeling a little bit better now actually after getting out and about. Been feeling rough like I said before now for the last few days, and I'm sweating it out now, so it's all good. So believe it or not, that is a hospital. Hospital Colonial. So I know where to go if I ever get the lurgies. Very nice looking hospital though, yeah? Nicer than the ones we get in the UK, that's for sure. So we've just come back to the square that we were at before, with the old church if you remember. And there's like a, looks like there's a market going on here now. So we're just gonna have a little wander through there, see what's going on. All of these guys are selling all sorts of stuff. Very colourful stuff, funnily enough. So by the looks of it, it's going to be an evening market. All sorts of clothes, all sorts of bags. Yeah, we've got a bit of everything. And a nice little backdrop of the church. I can imagine when it goes dark it's going to be a nice atmosphere, and you never know, there might be some like live music or something, you never know. This is Mexico. So as I was just saying before, I'm sure there'll be a bit of music at some point. Doesn't fail, Mexico never fails. So this is a kiosco, what they call a kiosco, and in most Mexican squares they have these kioscos, and there's a nice little band playing up there now. Good morning everyone. So a nice little sleep had last night. Very comfortable bed in that room, very comfortable. So this morning we're going to head to a little town called Chamula, which is about 6 hours. Check out this graffiti by the way, before I begin. Graffiti everywhere. Pretty cool, eh? Anyways, yeah, we're going to a little town called Chamula, which is about 6 miles kind of northwest of where we are, San Cristobal de las Casas. It's a very small little town, very indigenous. It's actually separate from the Mexican government. They rebelled against the Mexican government in 1869, I think it was. So they've got their own kind of community there, they've got their own rules, they've got their own beliefs, that kind of thing. Very, very special little place. It's supposed to be very spiritual. And yeah, many people go up there just to kind of see there's a famous church there called San Juan Chamula, which they supposedly they have these, they just have different beliefs. They have these little rituals that they do in there, and You can pay to go in. Apparently you're not to film up in the village, or the people don't really like you filming themselves, you know. So I'm gonna have to be very careful with the camera up there, to be honest with you. I'm not sure how much footage I'm gonna be able to get of the place. There's many shamans up there also, many shamans, so we're gonna have a look to see if we can find some shamans and possibly get cleansed by a shaman. We'll see what happens. But anyways, as you can see here now, coming up to a little market, nice little market here. We're just on the way to the Colectivo station, the bus station of where you go to Chamula basically. So it's like a 15-minute walk away from where we were staying. So we've got another little plaza here on the way to the bus station. There's a nice little church there. Yeah, beautiful, man. You got all the mountains in the distance. So here we go. Transportes Chamula. Hola. Chamula, por favor. Gracias. So this will be the Colectivo. So while we're on the bus on the way to Chamula, there's a couple of things I forgot to mention. Is that 99.5% of the population there is indigenous. What's the name of the language that they speak?
Tzotzil.
They speak Tzotzil, which is a different dialect. Fabiola was just listening to them speaking then and she didn't understand what they were saying. So, and another thing is they don't have the usual police force up here. It's not like the Mexican police force. They have their own police. And supposedly there's just guys that go around in their own specific little uniform with a little belt on, and rather than carrying guns they just have a stick basically. So yeah, very interesting. Like I say, they've got their own rules and regulations here, you know. So yeah, I'm sure there's other things that I've forgotten to mention, but I might remember along the way.
Disculpe, chofer, ¿si va a la iglesia?
Gracias. Okay, so welcome to Chamula. I'm going to try and be very careful with my camera, like I said, because they don't like people filming them, you know, filming them. So, but I want to try and show you as much as possible. The street we've just got off to walk up to the church. The church is up this way, which is the main thing to see here, but as we're walking along, we'll try and film a bit of the culture here. So as you can see, many fruits for sale.
Okay, with me market day.
See? Yeah, so like Fabiola just said, we've come here on market day. Many things going on, and you got like the church. You can see the church in the distance just there. Many fruits, many vegetables, mainly food really. We've seen many chickens for sale, which is a bit sad for me, but you know, that's life up here. Yeah, so from the photos I've seen online, this square here is generally empty, so people are just sitting around and chilling, you know. But this is a Sunday, we're here on a Sunday, so clearly market day is Sunday. Ah, no, gracias. Muchas gracias. So yeah, it's a very busy day, which we didn't know, but very nice to see. So here we go. This is the famous church, San Juan Chamula. You're not able to film inside, obviously, proper against the law, but we're going to go in. Apparently it's an amazing experience. So beautiful building though, eh? Look at this. So we've just been in the church for about 2 hours maybe. Wow, amazing. It's a shame you can't film in there because it's just, you can't even explain the experience. I'm going to talk about this more later on, not while we're here now, but I'll talk about this again. But wow, you just have to come here to experience what goes on inside of there, you know. It's just unbelievable. Anyways, we're going to head back into town. We're going to find some food. I think I'm pretty hungry, so let's head back into the town and get some food. There's a little place that sells quesadillas here. Very local indeed. Should we go here? Quesadillas, Bobby? Mm-hmm. See?
Mm-hmm. Get it?
I think we're gonna get some quesadillas. Let's see. So we've got our little hairdressers here. Peluqueria. There's been many of them. There's another one, well, there was just another one up here. We've just got these little shacks now. I'm bursting for a slash. And I've just found some public toilets. So let's go and see if I can have a little squiz here somewhere. Here we go. Ladies, men. That'll do me. Well, there we go. I hope you enjoyed what we had to show of Chamula there. Like I just said then, outside of the church, I'll explain a little bit more of what went on in the church, because to be honest with you, when I made that little video, I was a little bit speechless. I was a bit gobsmacked of what we kind of experienced, you know. So now that we're back in the main town where we're staying, San Cristobal de las Casas, I'm just sitting on the steps here to where that other church was, which you saw earlier on in the video. I just thought I'd do a little explanation of kind of what went on in the church, you know. So you pay 30 pesos to get into the church, and you go in, and it's not like your traditional type of church really. When you go in, there's no pews, there's no seats or anything like that. There's just tables, kind of rows of tables down the side of the church, full of candles, like thousands of candles in there, and from the front to the back, you know. And the floor was covered in pine needles. Now, I'm not sure what the reason was for that. I'm sure it's something spiritual, but there was just tons and tons of pine needles on the floor, where a lot of the indigenous people, they were sitting around on the floor, and they all had their own like set of candles that were in front of them. They would get a bit of wax on the bottom of the candle and stick them to the floor, so the candles were just stuck to the floor, and they were just sat there kind of praying, meditating, or whatever they do, you know. It was very, very moving, actually. There was one point I was crying, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie, I was actually in tears, and I don't know why. It was just such a nice vibe in there, you know. So anyways, while we were in there, Fabiola's able to speak Spanish, obviously. She got speaking to a couple of the guys that work in there. There's a couple of guys there that have to go around all of the candles to see which ones are dead, basically, and to get rid of them to make room for the new. So as she was talking to them, they were explaining a little bit about kind of what goes on in there and stuff like that, you know. And yeah, very nice people. So they drink a drink called Pox. It's spelled P-O-X, like pox. It's an alcoholic drink. It's like tequila. It tasted like tequila, but it's a traditional drink that they take in there. And they take a fizzy drink, whether that's Fanta or Coca-Cola, and they drink this Pox inside of the church, and they drink the Coca-Cola with it. And supposedly when the gas from the Coca-Cola makes them burp, which is supposed to be releasing kind of like the evil energies that are within them, or, you know, it's cleansing them basically. So they all take their own little bit of alcohol in there, this Pox, and some Coke. So they're all sitting around Now while we were in there was a few shamans in there, and Fabiola and I had wanted to have a shaman experience, you know. We'd both wanted to see a shaman for our own personal reasons. And when we were talking to these guys, they pointed out an elderly guy that was kneeling down, and he'd been chanting for about 20 minutes. And they said that, you know, he's a shaman. If you want to go up to him after and ask him if he'd like to do you like a ceremony, you know, see if he's up for it. So we kind of waited around for him, and he was just knelt down in the same position for 20 to 30 minutes, just chanting the same thing over and over and over and over, you know. This guy was very elderly. Anyways, once he'd finished, Fabiola went over to ask him if he'd be willing to do a thing for us, like a cleanse, I guess you could call it. And he said he wasn't really feeling it at the time, and we were like, no worries, that's fine, absolutely fine. So we just carried on wandering around the church for a little while, and then he came back up to us, and he told us that he'd found another shaman that would be willing to do it for us, you know. So he introduced us to this other shaman, and he asked us if we'd like to have like I don't know what you'd call it, a ceremony, a ritual. But anyways, he just came up to us, and he asked if we'd like to do it, and we said yeah, absolutely. Within the church as well, you know, because that's a very special thing to do. I mean, we weren't expecting to do it inside of the church. We were going to look for a shaman kind of on the streets. So yeah, he just felt our pulse. He grabbed my pulse on my arm, and he said, he basically feels your pulse, and he can tell what needs doing for you, what needs cleansing, whether you might be worried about something, or whether it's for your health. So he did that the same for Fabiola and I. He felt our pulses and kind of gauged what we needed basically, you know. Without telling him, he told us both that we were worried about something, and he was right. For me, because before I went to this, I was expecting to kind of say to the shaman, you know, this is what I would like to have help with in my life, or you know, this is the area of my life that I'd like to improve, or I thought I would have to explain to him what I would want doing, you know. But by just feeling my pulse, he seemed to know exactly what I needed. So he felt our pulses, and then he left us. He went out to buy some candles. So they have specific candles for specific things, different colours, different sized candles. There were shops in the town that just specifically sold candles. It's a huge thing up there. So he went off and bought some candles, the candles that he thought we needed. He came back, and then he asked us to sit down on these pine needles. And as we were sat down, or knelt down, he set all of these candles out in front of us in a certain way. Almost looked like a barcode, you know, the way he was setting them out. Like the big ones were at the back, and then big to small in the front. And he lit the ones at the back, the big ones. And then after he'd done that, he asked us to light the rest of them up, the rest of the candles ourselves. He passed us a little candle to light the rest of them up. And as we were doing that, he just started kind of chanting, and he was knelt down and he was chanting and chanting and chanting, just coming out with these words it just sounded so fast, but he was just continuously saying the same thing. And he also, I forgot to mention, he also had an egg for each of us, one for me and one for Fabiola, which he put in front of us. So as he was chanting and we were lighting up these candles, once we'd lit all the candles, we just kind of knelt there and just listened to him chant, you know. And then after a little while, he came up, grabbed the egg, and then he kind of waved the egg around our heads and placed it on top of our heads, and like kind of ran it down our back. And it's all kind of a bit strange, but that lasted for about 20 to 30 minutes while we were in there. So that was definitely something we weren't expecting to have done to us while we were in the church, you know. And yeah, so after that we just kind of stayed in there for a while. I just had a look at what other people were doing, and there was one guy kind of walked into the church, and he started praying, and he just started crying his eyes out, like really bawling his eyes out, you know, like really crying very strongly, like he was letting out all of his bad. is the badness inside of him. And then he just kind of wandered off. And then another couple came in with a chicken, and I'd read online actually some people go in there with chickens, and they go in with the chicken, which is alive, and they lay the chicken down in front of them, and at some point they strangle the chicken to its death, and that supposedly is kind of releasing the bad energies and stuff like that, you know. So it was all very, very surreal. And like I just said before, like, I don't know what came over me at one point. I was just kind of looking around at what these people were doing and just how they see life, and I just started crying myself. You know, I couldn't help it. I just couldn't keep it in. We must have been in there for about an hour and a half, but what a fantastic experience. You have to kind of go there to experience it. Like I say, you weren't able to film or even take photos in there, you know, so you can't. I've got nothing to show you in that respect. But I've never had that kind of feeling when I've walked into a normal church, say in the UK or anywhere else in the world, like a Catholic church. It's not a Catholic church there. It's their own kind of spiritual belief. It was more of a spiritual church rather than like a Catholic church, you know. And for some reason I could feel the energy in there. It was kind of very strange. But what a fantastic experience. What a fantastic experience. If you're ever in San Cristobal de las Casas, I definitely recommend going up to Chamula and checking out the church there, and even just the town, you know. As I couldn't show you too much, you know, I felt quite bad kind of getting my camera out, and you were able to film a little bit. Just the people didn't like being filmed, you know. Some believe that if you take a photo of them, you're taking a part of their soul away from them. Yeah, I hope you guys kind of enjoyed what I was able to show you, but you have to really go there yourself to experience how they live up there, you know. And they don't care too much about the outside world. They just care for what's going on in their little town, their families, their religion, their beliefs. Yeah, and so when I came out of that church after having kind of the experience I had in there, I was a little bit speechless. I didn't know what to say on the camera, you know. But now that I've had a little bit of time to take it all in, I've been able to just do this little talk about what kind of went on in there, you know. Very nice people, and as you could see in the videos, all the kind of clothes that they wear, the furry jackets, and they're all very kind of traditional, just specifically for their town, you know. So anyways, I'm back in San Cristobal de las Casas. I'm just sat on the steps here, and Fabiola's just been having a little meeting online with her work, so I thought I'd just come here and just do this little talk about the church. So I'm gonna go and meet her now. We're gonna head back into town. We're gonna have a little wander around. This is our last day here, so yeah, we're just gonna have a little walk around and appreciate this town a little bit more for what it is before we head back to Tuxtla tomorrow, and then yeah, we'll go from there. So we've just come across the little library here. Loads of second-hand books. Loads, and look what they've got here as well, man. Loads of vinyl. Wow, I might be here for a little while. Okay, so we just walked up to that church again, that white church for the sunset. The sun's gone down, unfortunately, but we just come across this little hotel, La Maldita, and come and check out the view that we've got from here. I think we're gonna get a little drink. We've been walking around for hours, so check this little place out. Nice little bar here. Fabiola resting her legs. And there we have the mountains. So this is the end of our little trip up in San Cristobal
de las Casas.
This is our last evening here. We've just had a little walk around today, and yeah, this is the last evening basically. We've just found this little place here for our last little drink. I've got a beer which is called Tzotzil, which is the dialect, isn't it? It's
Sì.
the dialect of the native people up here. And Fabiola's got a
Carajillo.
carajillo, whatever that is. She'll tell you. What's that, Fabi?
An espresso with licor 43.
There you go. So, but what a place, eh? Look at that. What a place to spend the last evening. Sun's going down, beautiful, beautiful silhouette of the mountains there in the distance. So yeah, we head back to Tuxtla tomorrow. We're going to head back there at some point. We might have another little mooch around here before we leave. But yeah, this is the end of our little trip in San Cristobal de las Casas. We hope to see you for the final part of this little trip in the next video. We take an amazing boat ride through a canyon called Canyon del Sumidero. We take a walk in a nearby town called Chapa de Corso, and to finish it off, we take in some aerial views of the canyon. We hope to see you there. Peace.